Audiobook Series 1 City Lights and Unspoken Heat, featuring Ben and DK. Chapter 1. Ben had never seen DK like this before. The rooftop bar buzzed below them, 1,000 stories of glass and steel twinkling in the night air. But up here, just the two of them. Everything felt heavier, slower, loaded. DK leaned on the railing, wind catching the loose ends of their hair, lips parted ever so slightly in the glow of the skyline. "You always this quiet when we're alone?" Ben exhaled, a smirk tugging at the corner of his mouth, just trying not to say the wrong thing. DK turned toward him, stepping in just enough to blur the distance. "You won't." The silence that followed wasn't awkward, it was electric. There was a heat beneath the surface, a rhythm unspoken. DK's hand brushed against Ben's as they leaned closer, fingers curled, breath mingled, his jaw flexed like he was holding back something dangerous. "I've been thinking about this," DK said softly. "About you." Ben's eyes searched theirs. "Show me." The kiss came slow, like testing deep water with a toe, but once it started, it pulled both of them under. Hands gripped hips, lips lingered a little too long. The city disappeared. When they finally broke apart, breathless, DK smiled. "Now what?" Ben's voice was a low growl. "Now, I ruin you for anyone else." And with that, they slipped back inside, where the night stretched out long, and the tension between them finally found release in whispered laughter, tangled sheets, and everything they'd never dared say out loud. Chapter 2. Ben stood behind DK, hands resting casually at his sides, but the air between them buzzed with restraint. The soft hum of the elevator felt deafening, like a countdown. Every flicker of movement, DK's hand brushing their hair back, Ben's throat tightening with a swallow, felt amplified. Ding! His apartment door opened with a quiet click, and they stepped inside. Floor-to-ceiling windows painted the room with soft ambient light from the city below. DK paused in the doorway, taking in the space, minimal, masculine, but warm. Then they turned to face him, stepping backward slowly until the backs of their knees touched the couch. "You always bring people up here?" DK asked, a teasing smile in their voice. Ben shook his head, eyes locked on theirs. "Just you." That was all it took. He closed the distance in one long stride, one hand cupping DK's jaw, the other sliding around their waist. Their lips met again, hotter this time, less cautious. DK's fingers tangled in the fabric of his shirt as he deepened the kiss, tasting something long denied. Clothes didn't come off in a rush, they slipped away like secrets. Buttons undone slowly, a shirt peeled from shoulders. DK pressed their forehead to Ben's as their fingertips traced his collarbone, breath shaky and voice barely a whisper. "I've wanted this," DK said, "not just tonight, for longer than I want to admit." Ben smiled, brushing his thumb across their cheek, then stopped holding back. They fell into each other with a kind of urgency that wasn't just lust, it was recognition, like two people who had orbited each other for too long, finally crashing into gravity. Every kiss, every graze of skin, every soft sound, they all spoke the language of finally. Later tangled in warm sheets and the sound of the city humming far below them, DK lay tucked against Ben's chest. His fingers drew slow, lazy lines across their back. Neither spoke for a long time. Then DK looked up. "So, what now?" Ben leaned down, brushing a kiss to their forehead. "Now we figure out how to stop pretending this didn't mean everything." Chapter 3. Ben's hand slid slowly up DK's bare spine, drawing a breath from them that trembled at the edges. The room was quiet now, except for the steady thrum of their hearts and the distant hum of the city far below. DK rolled onto their back, eyes meeting his with a spark that hadn't dimmed one bit. "You're still holding back." Ben smirked, leaning over them, forearms planted on either side of their head. I'm trying to be good. Don't, said DK. Those two syllables changed everything. In an instant, Ben's lips were back on theirs, firmer this time, all heat and hunger. His hands found DK's waist and pulled them flush against him. The tension between them reignited like a struck match, burning hot beneath every touch. DK gasped as his mouth trailed to their neck, teeth grazing sensitive skin. You don't kiss like someone being good. Ben chuckled low, because I'm not. He lifted them effortlessly, guiding them toward the wall of windows. The cool glass met DK's back, making them gasp, and he used the moment to take their bottom lip between his teeth gently, purposefully. Outside, the world kept spinning. Cars moved like fireflies below, neon signs flickered, but in here, time stopped. Every breath, every touch, every slow roll of hips and fingers and lips felt like it was building towards something dangerous and beautiful. Ben pressed his forehead to DK's. Tell me to stop. DK didn't even hesitate. Never. What followed wasn't rushed, it was drawn out. A dance of deep gazes and breathless whispers, like two people memorizing each other, one touch at a time. And when it was over, when the sweat had cooled and their bodies rested tangled together on the couch in the blue-gray light of early dawn, it wasn't silence that filled the space. It was understanding, want, something real. I didn't just need your body tonight, DK whispered, fingers tracing lazy circles over his chest. Ben tilted their chin up. I know. That's why you've got all of me now. Chapter 4. The first light of morning painted the room gold. Ben stirred before DK did. He wasn't used to sleeping with someone curled into him, not just beside him, but tangled, legs woven together, hair trailing across his shoulder, one arm slung over his chest like it had always belonged there. He didn't move, didn't want to risk waking them. Instead, he watched. DK's face was relaxed in sleep, soft in a way he rarely got to see. The edge they carried so easily in the world had melted overnight, replaced by something honest, something he hadn't realized how badly he'd wanted to earn. Sunlight stretched across the sheets, catching on bare skin and the fading imprint of fingertips and mouths in all the moments they hadn't spoken out loud. Ben exhaled. This wasn't supposed to happen, not like this, not this deep, this fast, and yet, here they were. DK stirred, eyelids fluttering open. For a second, they just blinked at him, sleepy and content. Then they smiled. You watching me sleep, Ben? They mumbled, voice thick with mourning. Yeah, he said, brushing a thumb across their cheek. Didn't want to miss it. DK laughed softly and stretched, long and slow and far too tempting. You always this sweet in the morning? Only when I've been ruined by someone I can't stop thinking about. DK blinked. The line was bold, but his tone was quiet, serious. For once they didn't deflect, didn't crack a joke or slip back into guarded charm. Instead, they leaned up, pressed a slow kiss to his jaw, and whispered, Good, because I think I just let you in further than I meant to. Ben rolled them over in one slow, fluid motion until he hovered above them again. Then let me all the way in. Chapter 5. The morning passed slowly. They moved through it like a secret, shared coffee, sleepy kisses, and moments of stillness wrapped in blankets and soft conversation. No rush, no masks, just two people learning what it meant to wake up beside someone who didn't feel temporary. By 10 a.m., the warmth of the morning had started to crack. Ben sat at the edge of the bed, phone in hand, brows furrowed. DK was across the room, draped in one of his shirts, scrolling through a flood of messages in the 8N League admin chat. The server was on fire. Someone leaked match schedules early. A team accused the mods of favoritism. There was drama in the free agent channel, again. Are you seeing this? DK asked, tension creeping into their voice. Ben nodded, thumbing quickly through the chaos. Yeah, D-Fan is tagging everyone, and Bacon's team thinks you changed your scrim times to favor Koa. DK's head snapped up. I didn't touch that. Koa probably just told his captain to lie and stir things up again. Ben stood, pulling on a hoodie. Then you need to be the one to say it. I will, but you need to back me. If you say nothing, they'll assume I did it and you covered it. Ben hesitated. DK caught it. There it was. The tension neither of them wanted to name. Last night had been vulnerability and heat. This morning, it was all back to optics, power, politics. You hesitating? DK said quietly. Ben's jaw clenched. Because I'm trying to think like an admin, not the guy who had his hands all over you 6 hours ago. DK flinched, not from the words, but from how true they were. I'm not asking for special treatment, they said, voice lower now. I'm asking for fairness. I know, Ben said, but anything I say now, they'll twist it, and I'm defending you because of this. Us. A heavy silence settled between them, the kind that didn't belong to lovers or leaders, it belonged to something in between, something fragile. You think this was a mistake? DK finally asked. Ben looked at them. Really looked. No, he said, stepping closer. But I think we have to be more careful. If they find out, let them, DK said, almost defiantly. Let them know the only reason this league isn't falling apart is because I'm the one pulling every string behind the scenes. Ben raised a brow. You sure you want to turn this into a power play? No, DK said, softer now. I don't want to pretend like none of this happened because of Rocket League drama and the bunch of sweaty GCs throwing fits in general chat. Ben exhaled and grabbed their hand. Then we don't pretend. But we handle this smart. You respond to Bacon's team, I'll deal with Koa, and tonight? Tonight? DK asked. Ben's smirk returned, just slightly. We don't talk about the league at all. DK leaned in. Good, because I plan on distracting you until you forget what a boost pad even is.